Hello, I am Endlessness and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. Today I would like to bring you a guide for the Mako Reactor 1 dungeon, and it should be quite easy because that's a recurring dungeon we had at the very launch of the game. So very first month, and that's why it has only 78 to 148 recommended power. They didn't raise it, and in those 5 months we have gotten 20 extra levels and all those character notes, so I think even for newer players it should be a still easy dungeon. Just to go quickly over the dungeon, we have 5 bosses, and if you noticed, only one boss has multiple, 2 units. Those M.O.T.H units are also not very hard, they don't have a lot of HP, so they still will be doable. However, for this dungeon, all you need is a thunder element and the X sigil. I think the reason why is at the very beginning, at launch, we had Murasame Cloud Garb, which is thunder, and most people used to pull on it, so that everyone had thunder clouds, so that's why the dungeon had it. However, just to go quickly over the dungeon, we start here, and you can go for the M.O.T.H units or the Prototype's Airbuster. However, if you skip the M.O.T.H unit, you can also go, for example, for the Sweeper or the other bosses. So you have quite a lot of choices how you want to go through the dungeon till you go for the last boss, the final boss. However, we have 3 rare chests. The first one is here, the second one is just after the Sweeper, and there's one rare item that's located right here, and I am not sure what it had, but maybe it should be around 200 crystals, so that's why you want to go into this small area and grab it. To go back for the bosses, the M.O.T.H units, you cannot lower their defense. However, if you want, you can lower their attack if they hurt you too much. Prototype Airbuster, he's immune to all attack and defense debuffs. So if you want, you have a lot of combinations. Custom Sweeper, in my opinion, that's the most dangerous one, because yes, you can debuff him, his attack and defense to deal more damage. However, he can inflict poison on you. So if you want to be sure, you can bring a Poison Esuna. However, that boss, compared to the Poison Dragon we have right now, that poison doesn't do a lot of damage. You can easily out heal it with your healer. And the Airbuster, that's almost the same case. You can lower its physical attack and physical defense. He's only immune to magic. And Scorpion Sentinel, I think everyone is familiar with this. If you use Sephiroth, most likely you have Edged Wings, so Edged Wings and Thunder, the Murasame, will be very useful on him, and you can lower everything on him, the magical and physical defense and attack. To go over my team, as you can see, I have only 167,000 power, because I have lowered my team as much as I could. So hopefully this guide should be very generic one, also for new players. Cloud only has one materia, which is the X. Sephiroth also has only the X and Thunder materia for most of the bosses. If you use any other characters, you might have Thunder weapons, which will be also very useful. But for Cloud, also for every character, I have also removed some sub-weapons. However, for Cloud I have Zidane Sword, which is not OP because it's only 1 star, so it doesn't give me anything really. If I would put a higher overboosted weapon, I would gain a lot of attack. So that's why it's here, and because I wanted to depower my Murasame. If I would switch it, you would see... if I would switch on my main hands, you'll see I'll gain a lot of physical attack and lightning potency. So to accommodate for that, I just switched around. However, if you want, all you need for this dungeon is the X sigil. So basically you can put 2 materia stat sticks to to gain more HP, to gain more physical attack on Cloud, because mine has only 2.1 physical attack, my Sephiroth has only 2.1 magical attack, and that's pretty much it. If you do not have Murasame Cloud, then you want to put a Thunder Materia on him, and that's basically for every DPS character. If you do not have a Thunder weapon on them, use a Materia. Other than that, use all the Materias as stat 6. For Zack, however, I use him only as a debuffer and a healer. However, I also have this Lightning Breach Materia to boost my lightning damage a little bit more, and this is something I recommend for every player. Go into the Crisis Exchange and you should have 3 Materias that you should always buy. I always recommend that. It's the Fire Breach, Ice Breach and Lightning Breach. It has only low potency, however, even low potency, it still will give you it still will boost your damage, but also, since those are purple Materias, they can serve you as stat sticks. Yes, it's RNG, so you might get better ones or worse ones. However, I would always recommend, because even if you're a new player, those purple Materia, they will boost your team quite a lot. So that should be it. It's just Cura, because it's the all Cura slot, and Cura Materia just in case for a single target heal. So in this dungeon, I would recommend at least this time, I would recommend going for the Airbuster and straight going for the Sweeper, in case you didn't bring a Poison Esuna. It's just a little bit safer, so we'll go this time with this route, and you still should be fine. If you are worried about those 2 T-Moth units as the boss, I recommend you can try with this one. However, I think the Sweeper with his poison is the most dangerous one. The Airbuster Prototype, it's not as hard as the normal Airbuster. However, with this setup, you don't really need to switch to a second team. I pressed space. Huh, it didn't switch, okay. That might have been my issue. However, after that attack, it's always Sigil phase. That's just kill the Sigils and you're good to continue your DPS. If you need to heal, that's the perfect phase to heal. And it's really not that hard of the battle. It's the first boss. The first boss in a dungeon, it always is the easiest one, because as you kill bosses, the difficulty of the dungeon is rising. And here we always have the trance abilities. And those 3 abilities, as you can see, it's lightning potency, 5, 10 and 15. However, those 2 are getting a little bit tougher because you are losing physical and magical defense. If your team is strong, if you have a lot of HP and you can kill bosses fast, I would recommend going for the minus 30% magical physical defense. However, I will just go with the safest ones. And as I previously mentioned, I went into this small area. You always have to kill those 3 enemies, and then you'll be able to get that 3rd rare item, the non-chest one. So those ones are actually easy to miss if you do not pay attention. And that rare item, it should be right in this area here. It should be a glowing pixel. So if you just look at it, you won't know. You will know where it is. This is the second odds. The ad phases, the ads are pretty fine. It's just those moth slashers. They do not have a lot of HP, so you should be able to kill them pretty fast. In case they will be able to charge high voltage, just switch to defense to shield you from that attack and heal. But in the meantime, you should on those enemies and the boss, you should be able to have at least 2 limit breaks, if not 3. So it should be good enough for the sweeper boss. And here's that sweeper. I will switch to Zag to debuff him a little bit and also get my 3rd limit break. But yes, this is the poison, and I will use immediately all my 3 limit breaks. That's only the Thunderlance. If you have Judgment Bolt, you are more than welcome to use it, or any other summons. However, like I said, it's just my depowered team that I think it'll be most helpful guide for everyone. And here I can actually... Oh, that was a little bit easier. However, like I said, this poison from that sweeper, it doesn't hurt a lot. Until the poison dragon, the poison is in this game, we didn't really pay attention to it. We could out-heal it with our healers, and that poison dragon, it really surprised us. And here again, it's physical attack, magical attack, or you can choose the magical attack plus 10, but you also lose physical attack, so it's up to you. And right now I will just go back in the dungeon to those 2 M.O.T.H units. And again, they are not really that hard. They do not have a lot of HP, but yes, you want to avoid them charging their attack, because that's level 2 charge, and that's now the commence quick charge. I will heal myself just in case. However, I'll be able to kill that one, because when they start charging the high voltage, that's where you ideally want to kill it before they are able to fully charge it. That's level 2, and when now he should start, yes, when he gets below 50% or a little bit less health, then they start charging their attack, so you want to kill them as soon as possible. However, that's really not, I would say they are a very easy boss. Just use my thunder materia and they will be fried. And here again, that's the same trance ability, but just different. 10, 10. If you use 2 enhanced physical attack and enhanced magical attack, you end up at 0. So I think those trance abilities are better. And now for the, I think it should be Airbuster before the final boss. Yes, it's the normal Airbuster now. This one has already, it's almost the last level, the more difficult level of the dungeon, so it will have a little bit more HP. Lightning breach, and just start doing DPS until the big bomber. And now shield. I always find this attack animation a little bit funny. I will not elaborate why, but it's a little bit funny. And now EMP field. Shield again from that, and this also doesn't hurt a lot, but it most of the time it stuns your team. It can, you might avoid it, it's just RNG. Now you enter this X-Sigil phase, however, Cloud actually killed it too fast. However, in this phase, when you see sigils on Airbuster, he becomes very vulnerable to all attacks. So you can choose if you want to break sigils or you can go full DPS and just kill him with the thunder, because all your attacks, when you see those 2 red icons, they will deal a lot more attack and a lot more damage than usual. And here 10% physical attack, 10 magic attack and 10 lightning potency. I would always recommend go with lightning potency, because all the bosses, they are weak to lightning, so it doesn't matter if you use magic attacks or physical attacks, that lightning potency, you always benefit from it. That's the last chest, and we can go to the boss, but it's always first 2 enemies. Actually, it should be 3. Yeah, it's 3. Go for the rank dash first, because most slasher, its attack is very slow. So you have time to finish those 2 other rank dash before you start attacking that boss. Actually, no, just enemy, not boss. And you have more than enough time to kill it. If you happen not to be fast enough with it, then just switch stance to defense and let your healer heal you. And the last boss, the Sentinel. And that's the only enemy that you can actually benefit with having the Edged Wing Sephiroth. And actually I will cura everyone with Zac, just in case. However, here I would recommend go for Lightning Bridge. At this point you should have enough of your limit breaks and just unleash them on it, because that tail laser, it always hurts a little bit. It shouldn't kill any of your characters. However, just in case, you can just finish him a little bit faster. Also, I don't think I mentioned, you always get those extra items from those chests and defeating normal ads. You are always welcome to use them. If you need, for example, extra summon charge, extra ATB, extra HP, you need to heal, you can always use them. Those dungeons, it doesn't really matter. If you perform well, you could use a lot of items and you will still be able to achieve the S+. So yes, this was the first dungeon guide. And if you didn't clear it, you'll get a lot of crystals and the crisis medals and some extra items. But if you did, you might, and you end up with S or A+, you'll still gain a little bit of crystals. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope it was a helpful guide for you, and I hope to see you on next one.